Hello my friends, today we're going to be doing a stretch to open up the inner thighs, stretch out the hips, and then after we're going to do a little self-test, and then you will be able to progress your progress as you continue to do these stretches. So let's get started sitting in butterfly pose. Just go ahead and take your feet together and allow your knees to fall apart. Go ahead and adjust yourself so you're sitting upright tall. Bring your chest forward, make sure there's energy coming, you're not slumping in this pose, okay? So sit nice and forward, and then just go ahead and start to bring your awareness to your breath. Breathe in and breathe out, and continue to deepen, making that breath longer and longer as you're sitting here. And when you're ready, you can continue to increase the stretch by sliding your heels towards your groin. Open up your heart space, allow your chest to come forward in this pose. And we're going to take a moment just to add a little additional stretch by using our elbows and applying a little bit of pressure to sink a little deeper into this if you're ready. If not, you can just sit here in butterfly and just breathe. So what you're going to do is shift your weight forward just a little bit. Allow your elbows to come to your knees and allow a little bit of pressure to the knees, which will help open you up just a little bit more. Your next breath, just go ahead and come forward. You can stretch it out, bring your knees together, maybe even do the little butterfly stretch. This reminds me of like middle school days. This was one of the stretches. And then you can make an adjustment. If you want to then slide your heels closer and then revisit that stretch, go ahead and do so now. Once again, go ahead and bring those legs together. Feel a good stretch. You can windshield wiper your legs here if that feels good for you. Feel a little bit of a different movement there for a moment. And then go ahead and roll up onto all fours. We're going to press ourselves up into a tabletop position, engaging the core. And we're going to slowly kick our hips up towards the ceiling, pedaling out the legs for a moment. And go ahead and walk your feet up towards your hands, and then slowly drop your tailbone down, roll up one vertebrae at a time. And so you're standing nice and tall in mountain pose. We're going to get ready for our side lunge. And a side lunge is tricky because we want to make sure that we're keeping our knees safe, and it also requires strength. So if you have tightness in your calves, then you may find this very difficult, and you may find that your heels want to lift up off the ground. If your heels aren't grounded and you're lifting up off the ground here, then you're putting a lot of pressure on your knees, and your knees are at risk here, and also there's a compromise in your flexibility in your groin as well, because you wouldn't have the flexibility. However, if you have the flexibility and stability to ground down through the knee, then this is a great stretch. If it's too much, all you're going to do is come up and stay up a little higher in that stretch until you gain the flexibility in the inner thigh. So let's go ahead and sink down. I'm going to stay up here for today's practice. You're welcome to sink all the way down and even engage that leg if you have the strength and flexibility to do so. However, if you notice that compromise, your heels are floating up, then go ahead and make that small change and just raise yourself up off the ground. And then we're just going to shift to the other side. And switch. Bring your chest forward, sink your hips back. Make sure you're grounding down through the heel, whichever route you're deciding to go. Whether you're sinking all the way down or you're deciding to stay propped up. And once again, through time, you will notice that you can sink a little bit deeper in this stretch. But right now, I just want you to listen to your body. I want you to exhale, forward fold. Allow your chest to drop forward. And then go ahead, slowly heel toe, walk your toes in to center. And then go ahead and take an angle your toes to the corners of the room. Hands come to the hips. Engage the glutes and come up to a standing pose. We're going to sink on down for a yogi's squat. And normally people tend to kind of crouch forward, they fall, they collapse in. So I want you to think about dropping your pelvis down, bringing your heart space forward, and using your elbows here to take your knees to the outside of the room. If you don't have the strength or the flexibility to hang out here, you can always take a block or a blanket and place it underneath your hips to lower your hips down and bring your heart forward. Think about coming out of your shell instead of collapsing into one. It's going to energize you, get you connected with the earth around you. And exhale, plant the hands on the ground. Kick your hips up towards the sky. Walk your feet in nice and slow. And we're just going to curl up into a little ball and have a seat. I mentioned earlier that we would test your flexibility. And so I'm going to show you a simple test to gauge how you're coming. If you love tracking your progress, then you're going to like this self-test. It's simple as sitting in butterfly pose and then bring your heels as close to your groin as you can. You'll then take a tape measure and measure from the bottom of your heels to the base of your groin. If you measure 5 centimeters, that is excellent flexibility. If you measure 10, that's very good. 15 is good. 20 is fair, and 25 is poor. So that's a good measure for you and a motivator to keep doing these yoga workouts and make it part of your daily routine to increase your flexibility. We're going to finish today's practice in a reclining bound angle pose. So go ahead and take your knees together for a moment. Roll back one vertebrae at a time. You can give yourself a big old hug. Thank yourself for taking time to stretch. And then go ahead and take your feet together, knees apart, palms face up. Allow yourself to melt onto the ground. Trust that the ground below you is holding your weight. Use your breath to release those tight muscles around the hips, to relax the glutes, and to just really be open. Sink deeper and deeper into this pose, this final pose. And you're welcome to stay here in this moment. Maybe allow 5 or 10 minutes for a little meditation. However, if that's not in your schedule today, save it for another day. Go ahead and bring your knees together. Roll onto your side and press up. We'll meet in seated position. Thank you so much for joining me again today for this yoga stretch. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give a thumbs up to this video. Leave a comment below if you'd like to see something else. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel. It means the world to me. Have a great day.